Hey, go-getters, welcome back to another episode of The Pursuit. We go live every week to give you guys the big ideas you need to grow yourself, your business, and your impact. Listen, today we're talking about how to get past the forces that stop you from living your boldest, most beautiful life. We're going to be talking about imposter syndrome. We're going to be talking about self-doubt. And this doesn't just affect people who are on the bench. This affects high achievers, probably even more, because we're always comparing ourselves to other people. So if that's you, you got a lot of amazing things going on. Listen, you want to stay connected to every single time we go live, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that bell to be notified of any future content. I'm here I'm Patrick. Hi.
I'm Katie.
That's Katie.
Hi.
Okay. And we just wanted to make sure you guys say hello. So whether you're watching us live, whether you're watching this in the recording, if you're catching us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or listening on our companion podcast, however you found yourself here, hey, we're just glad that you end up here on this lovely Sunday. Speaking of lovely Sundays, something happened. Something happened today. What just happened about 5 minutes ago? It makes us a little late for this broadcast.
It's always nice to get some good news right before you go live on a video. I was letting the dogs in, and our Beast dog, I see him, he's out there chewing a stick. He's lots of times chewing a stick. Sometimes he pulls a branch off a bush or a tree or whatever. You know, we got a lot of trees back there. It's fine. So he's having a grand old time running around this thing. And I don't notice what it is until I see that he's ripped off the top of one of our Japanese maples, which I've been carefully growing for 2 years.
Yikes.
Now it's a stick. It's just a stick. So that's cool.
We're going to change today's title and stop talking about living your best life and talk about how not to kill your dogs. That's going to be the new topic today. So as we talk about this topic today, you guys, what I would like from you guys is join into the discussion. Put in the comments below your thoughts on this. If you've overcome it, we want to know how you guys have done it so that we can add your wisdom to the conversation. So let's just begin here with a simple premise. What's going on in the world? Why is this word imposter syndrome such a big buzzword? If you haven't been aware of it, it's going all over the internet right now. And it's been for probably a good year. And let's just begin with a definition of what this thing is and really why we should even be concerned about it, whether you own a business or you're thinking of leaving your current job because of the crazy, world that we live in right now. You want to start that new career, whatever you're thinking. Let's talk about why we're holding some of our great and beautiful talent from showing up in the world the way that it's really meant to. Katie, I know you're not Webster, you're not a dictionary, but if you had to come up with a phrase, like what are we talking about here? What is imposter
syndrome is the feeling that a person has when they are doing something, but they feel like they're not quite qualified, or they're pretending, they're playing a role. And by doing that, they feel like they're an imposter, not like a true leader. You see it a lot in social media, people saying this, like influencers, but it actually applies to like regular folks too, like us. You end up in a role where you think, oh my gosh, how am I possibly going to do this? I am not qualified. Why are people trusting me to do this? And so you feel like an imposter.
And to go a little deeper, it also affects people, again, not just on the bench, not people who are watching other people do it, pursue the dreams. And so it affects people on literally both ends of the spectrum. Some folks are like, hey, listen, I want to do this thing, but it's a hesitance to start. It affects us in those ways too. It's like, do I even have what it takes to start this? I mean, this person over here has 10 years of experience on their resume and I only have 3. Does that mean I should not even give it a go? This person has 10,000 followers on insert social media. I've got 10. Should I even waste my time? Do I even have what it takes? And so it affects people at the starting line who are really thinking about going after what they want, but it also affects people who are well into the path, people who have written 3 books and built 2 businesses, and they still somehow feel like they just are not deserved of the praise, the accolades, the achievements they've had, because they're still comparing themselves to their neighbors, to their friends. So that, do you have any thoughts on other than how is that affecting us psychologically? Like what in your lens, other than just the way I stated it, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, the idea of comparison is really something that drives imposter syndrome. The comparison is what can really take away someone's joy, and it also takes away their own message. Because if I'm always worried about what do I have to say and how does it compare to bounce off of what is Patrick saying, if I'm always comparing myself to him, am I really taking my own steps forward? Am I really creating the thing that I am trying to create if all I'm doing is always comparing it to somebody else? And, I would say that the most successful people are the ones who kind of forget what everybody else is doing. And it's those trailblazers and the ones who are inventors. Think of the inventors over the years. People are comparing each other to what does this thing do compared to what does this thing do? And if we were only focused on comparing ourselves to another person, how can we ever really build anything great?
I 100% agree with you. And just to add even a little bit to that, one of the things, so we'll kind of get into some solutions here. One of the things that we can do if you hear what Katie and I are talking about and you're like, yeah, like secretly, Patrick and Katie, that's sort of me. Like I'm feeling some of what you're talking about, even though I've built this business, even though I've worked my way up to this level of ladder in my career, I'm still feeling like, do I really deserve all these people to follow me? Do I deserve all these things? The very first thing I want to bring up in terms of being solution focused and what we can practically do to turn this around. And this one's for me, and then Katie, you have another great one as well, is begin by honoring your gifts. This is something that we are talking about in our upcoming Illuminate program. More information on that coming very soon, but we're going to be talking about shining a light on all the beautiful gifts and strengths that you have to bring to the world, and then really sparking that confidence to go after that thing you want. Stay tuned. Subscribe to this channel, be notified for any future updates and everything we have going there. But the idea is this. You've got something amazing about you. And I'm not saying this just to blow smoke. I'm not saying this because, I read this on a poster somewhere. Do people even still have posters? I just dated myself. Yeah, posters. Yeah, that's something the kids are using these days.
Like the ones with like the cat sleeping on the branch in the school counselor's office.
Yeah, that one. Here's the thing. When it comes to building a brand, when it comes to building your differentiators, the big question is what makes you special? What makes you different? What's something you have that no one else has got? I don't care how many years of experience they have. I don't care how big their resume is or how high they moved up the corporate ladder, whatever's going on. There's something that you have that no one else has. And that could be your personality. That could be your just unique lens. It could be all the incredible experiences you've gone through in life. And discovering what that special sauce is, discovering what that special thing that makes you you is, and then leaning into it, knowing that that's what's gonna power you forward, is really incredible. And just to kind of bring this to life a little bit for you guys, I like to share something that's on my heart about what I have discovered is one of my gifts. And Katie, if you don't mind, I'd like to hear something from you, something you just feels like one of your unique things. And if you guys want to comment below, let us know what's something that just you've discovered about yourself that's just like your special sauce, that unique thing that only you could bring to the world. And for me, it came from multiple people telling me something that I didn't even see in myself. And people told me, Patrick, your passion is contagious. And you've got that love, you've got that heart in you, and the way that you talk to people, the way that you put it out there, man, it just makes me want to listen to what you have to say. And I'm not saying that everyone's going to vibe me that way, but I think that just really honoring that that's one of the gifts I have is the kind of the gift of gab, the gift of being able to communicate and talk to people in a loving and supportive and coaching way. That's one of the things that makes me stand out from the crowd and builds me in this confidence that says, I do belong at the seat of the table. I don't care who's got what X, Y, and Z. I deserve to be here. I'm not an imposter. What's something that's on your list of things you deserve? Some good stuff.
Well, I think I'm going to tell you what is my special quality.
Ooh, yes.
that I have to bring to the world. So I've discovered that I'm a really good leader. And even if I'm not like at the top of the group or whatever, I've found that I can be a really good leader from wherever I am. And that shows up in being a really good problem solver and keeping a level head and really giving the attention to people in the way that they need it and doing all of those things together. And not blaming, not pointing fingers, but keeping on a focus of finding a solution and having a really good attitude along the way. I've discovered that that's my special quality that I bring.
I would agree with this, and everyone that I've heard that works with you agrees the same way. But so what is it for you guys? What's your special thing that you've got? And it doesn't have to be a skill. It could be part of your personality. But the point is this. There is a reason that you should feel extraordinarily confident about yourself, regardless of how many books you've written or business you've built or levels you've achieved. It's separate from that. And that's what builds the confidence to break through this imposter syndrome. Now, Kate, you have another one you want to add onto this in terms of another something that's very important we do to break through imposter syndrome and some of these things that are holding people back from the life that they deserve. So let's talk about that.
So this might not be exactly related to imposter syndrome. It's not the same as imposter syndrome, but it's definitely related. So something that I've discovered about myself in the last couple of years is that I have identified these subconscious limiting beliefs that I've had about myself. And the main one is, if you've heard me talking a couple episodes ago about people pleasing and perfectionism, it's sort of related to that. I've always been most concerned with what am I doing to make people happy. And this comes in the form of making my parents happy, making my boss happy, making my teachers happy, and meeting their expectations. So instead of setting my own expectations for myself and what I am capable of and what my strengths are, I have been pointing it toward somebody else, which has actually made me kind of stunted. And it's made me not be able to push past whatever limiting beliefs I may have had about myself. And honestly, until I started to think about it, I didn't know that this was even something that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
So if anyone's listening, I would encourage you to just take some time and look into yourself and say, are my actions because of somebody else? Or are they because of what I think is truly right? And so what you really have to remember is that you can rely on yourself. When it comes to making decisions about your life, you are probably more wise than you know you are, than you think you are. And you have a lot of information and you have so many gifts to give. So the way this has shown up for me is that I have found that once I was able to identify that I wasn't really taking action based on myself, I was taking action based on other people, doors started opening for me. It was really interesting. I don't know if this is the law of attraction or manifesting my greatest desires or the universe or God or whatever. But as I started to chip away at these things that were holding me back, doors started opening. And it was clear. It wasn't like, maybe that was a little door that opened. No, doors are flying open. So it's been very cool. And so what I've been personally doing is just looking into my shadow, and seeing these shadow things, the negative things, and trying to pull those out, make those an asset to myself and use them. The things that I was trying to hide before, I use it. And I use it to my advantage, and it has made me more creative, and it's made me really moving forward. And I think a lot of people would experience the same thing.
I think we just end the episode right there. I mean, you just nailed it so beautifully. Gosh, I'm just so happy to be married to you and connected to you and even in the room with you. My God. If you guys have experienced anything like what Katie's talking about, please throw it in the comments. Let us know, and we'll discuss it here. We'll mention it. Or if you don't want to be mentioned, just tell us in the comments. Don't mention my name. We'll just bring it up because we love shared wisdom. We love your wisdom. So the first thing we're talking about is honoring your gifts. So to beat imposter syndrome and have your best self come to the table, whether, again, you're just on the bench and you're just getting going, you're looking at jumping into a brand new life, Or you've already achieved some incredible stuff, but you want to take your life to that next level, but you're hesitating, you're holding back. Our advice right now, first one is honor your gifts. Find that special sauce, that special thing that makes you you, because no one else can compete with you on that level. Own that, hold that in, and give it some good energy. And two, let the old ideas about yourself go. There's some stuff that's on an unconscious level that it's holding you back. And when you realize it's not, because all the thing about imposter, it's all about other people. I'm comparing myself. Yeah, but sometimes it's you versus you. That's what the real game is about. That's what the inner game is about. So that's some of the first advice. We got two more. This one for me, as a recovering perfectionist, this one made a huge difference for me, because I sat there on the bench for so many years looking at other people winning, going, do I have what it takes? Should I even jump into the arena? I don't have as many degrees. I don't have as many followers. I don't have as many anything. What I realized is that you can serve at your level. If you have achieved something, and you have, which are going to come to what you've already achieved in just a minute here, everyone below you, you can serve them. So if you're at level 2, you can serve everyone at level 1 and level 0. If you're at level 5, good. Yeah, maybe you're not at level 10 where you want to be, but you are at level 5. You can serve everyone at level 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. You have so much to give. Don't wait to give that thing that you're here to give. So that's one of the things we want to make sure that we want to highlight there, as another reason, another way that you can overcome this self-doubt, this comparison syndrome, or imposter syndrome as you're called. Do you want to add anything to that idea?
Well, I think that's so good. And the only thing I want to add is that show up wherever you're doing, whatever level you're at. Show up and do your best and bring your special gifts. Like, I don't care if you are entry level, sorting the mail, putting the carts away. Bring your gift to it, because you are going to positively impact everybody around you, and that's only going to be good for you.
Yes. Oh, I hope you guys feeling this episode. I hope you're feeling this episode. I'm feeling good. Like, if all the things we could have done on a Sunday. Hey, the kid sleeping in bed.
I hope.
Dog ate a very expensive tree.
It's fine.
If you know what we're talking about, you're just joining us live. We mentioned our dog ate a tree.
Yeah.
Very expensive Japanese. Anyway, number 3, we want to talk about one other major thing here to help you guys overcome imposter syndrome. Thank you for hanging with us up until this part of the video. This is something, and it's an exercise that we want to recommend for you guys. If at any part of you that's hesitating on that next level, if it's holding back in any way, your giftedness and your greatness that you're here, whether you're getting started or you want to take life and your business to the next level, this is a big one. It's about honoring your accomplishments. And here's the exercise we want to offer you guys. And we actually do this as part of our Illuminate program, not to overly pitch Illuminate. I know it's not even here yet. We're still working on it. But one of the exercises one of the things conversations we have is, it's a look back. It's like kind of a last year's inventory on your life. Not just where are you now, but where are you coming from? What's behind you, in a celebratory way, because we just don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't give ourselves enough credit for all the great things we've done. And so many of us are saying, well, yeah, I'll call it great when I get to this level, when I have this much money in the bank. Like, we're just holding back a good old pat on the back for ourselves. So honoring your accomplishments. And I'll start here with a simple thing, and just to practice what we preach. Here's something I'm personally proud of that I've achieved over the past, let's say 2 years. I'm not going to go back 5 or anything, but over the past 2 years, I have set goals and achieved them, as small as they may seem, of breaking through personal doubts, breaking through insecurities. I've seen myself over the past 2 years do more brave, bold stuff than I've ever seen myself do. And I have to give myself a good old pat on the back for that. And have I reached my large scale goals? Not yet, but I am climbing that mountain, and I am on the way, and I am proud of every step. So we're in the space of personal pride and personal confidence. There's no room for comparison there. There's no room for self-doubt there, because I'm too busy feeling good about all the steps that I'm taking to get where I'm going. But in order to get there, you have to begin by acknowledging what you have done instead of hyper-focusing what you have yet to do or accomplish.
Right. And there's another way to look at this too, is if maybe you've spent the last year super struggling and you feel like you're failing constantly, but the person who gets back up and tries over and over and over again is so strong compared to somebody who maybe just ticked through all the stuff, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of somebody who might have a very, very large health goal, lose 100 pounds. Like that can seem, it's somewhat insurmountable. And, as success, weight loss is, up and down and up and down. But it's that person who keeps trying and never gives up that is just becoming stronger. And that's called contending. And if you can keep contending to reach your goal, just keep moving forward and you're just getting closer and closer and closer. So when we're talking about looking back on your accomplishments, think about that. Even if you feel like, oh, I haven't accomplished anything, you really have, as long as you're doing something, even if you are massively, massively struggling with something. But let's say you finally identified it and you finally admitted to yourself, I am struggling with this. That's an accomplishment.
Yes. Can I just pause there for a minute? Minute? There, I can enunciate. Just the acknowledgement of those limiting beliefs, limiting actions, limiting mindsets, or stinking thinking, as we like to call it here at The Pursuit. Even that is a victory and something worth celebrating. So today has been about living your bold life, and it begins with breaking through and overcoming some of the things that have been stopping you. And one of the big things that we've been talking about is imposter syndrome and how to get past that and pursue the life, even the next level of yourself, your health, your business, that you can do, you should do, and we're going to lean in a little further. You must do it because the world needs that special gift that you have.
Yeah,
it's so important.
The world needs everybody to be moving forward on this. Imagine
100%.
If we were all thinking in this way, because we're not. Our world is in a
It's in a place right now.
And just the amount of conflict and discord and, all of that. But if we were really all working on being our best and doing our best and using our gifts, I think that we would be heading in a really good direction.
Absolutely. So if you guys want more encouraging messages like this, make sure to hit that like button. It always helps us with the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified every single time we go live so you don't miss any of this. And obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that bell to make sure that you get those notifications. So listen, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. And until we see you again, may the fire within lead to happiest heights.
And the road you travel be lined with lights.
There it is. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers.